This Charlotte ROVAL DFS Picks 2024 edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code RACESGPN to get a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Start crushing college football and the NFL with Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'll wreck my mom to win a championship. I'll wreck your mom to win a championship.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
It refrains me from not beating the out of you right now because you ask me stupid questions. But since I'm on probation, I suppose that's improper to say as well. If you could talk about racing things, we could talk about racing things.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
It's Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. It's the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Oh, cheers, Cody. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Gomez. I seem to be missing something to drink. There's no drink for the Charlotte ROVAL.
We need a ROVAL ale or something.
ROVAL ale. Actually, what I would really like is a ROVAL stout. I feel like that would be a good combination. A nice hearty stout on a road course that's not quite or what's a beer?
I feel like ROVAL would need to be like a sour beer, like sort of a combination of a bunch of things really just kind of growing in the yeast there and different, like, because that's sort of what a ROVAL is, right?
Yeah. Okay, so if any brewery wants to get on this, it's the what do you call it? ROVAL sour. I want a ROVAL sour beer.
Yeah, the ROVAL sour. There you go.
Boom.
Yeah, boom. All right, well, our work here is done. Only took us 2 minutes around. So, happy Friday, everybody. We'll see you next week.
God, man, we are so good. We've gotten so efficient over the course of our time here on this show. But no, we are here to talk about the DFS portion of the Charlotte ROVAL. And today we're going to do something a little different. Kind of question mark. I mean, I know normally we try to give you each individual race and break it down. But this week we kind of jumped ahead, schedule a little bit, and there's no underdog out yet. So what we'll do is we are covering the DFS portion of it for this episode. So if you want our underdog picks, if you didn't catch them yesterday, go catch them yesterday because we gave you our underdog picks yesterday. Or if there was no underdog picks out when we recorded this, or when we record the next show, then catch whatever we're giving you there for the show.
Yeah, yesterday's show I'm sure was full of great underdog picks. So make sure you go back and check that out.
This is the funny part about having podcasts and being able to do stuff the way we do it is that sometimes it's nonlinear, and most of the time people don't understand or they don't recognize it. They don't realize that it's not.
If we didn't say anything, I mean, you just think we're recording it on Friday. So here we go.
Mm-hmm. But we are.
We'll get all that. Here's your little, we'll do the Men in Black. Whoop. Okay. Welcome. It's Friday. Huh? How's it going, guys?
How's it going? Well, it's funny because some shows don't even try to tell you like that they're doing it. That just make you think that you're living the life as you're living it. But I feel like full disclosure is our thing. Here. Yeah. I mean, at this point,
could be to our detriment at points, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever. We'll definitely take that or leave it. And as always, though, we thank you for tuning into this show, regardless of when you're doing it, how you're doing it, or when we're doing it, for that matter. So we love you, we appreciate you, and here's the thing: the bosses want us to, kind of help you along in giving us these reviews that are so desperately needed to keep podcasts going. Because let's face it, I mean, as much as it's great that you listen, all those overlords out there don't know unless you actually hit that review button whether or not you like it. And so if you do that, the more you do it, the more stars that are given to this show, the better off the SGPN network is, the more the bosses know that you like us, even though we already know it. I mean, I don't need the justification, but apparently bosses do. So make sure you go leave a 5-star review on Spotify, leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. However you want to do it, just make sure you are doing it. And, you know, you get to partake in things like this. We know Hurricane Helene has been devastating to the people of Western North Carolina. SGPN, this network that we work for, teaming up with local charity called mountainprojects.org to help give back. The biggest donation out of all of this is going to get a guest spot on the CFB Pick Show and a ton of gear. So if you want to help, go to mountainprojects.org and hit flood support help out today. Thank you very much. Again, Cody, we are here for the Charlotte ROVAL. We're going to give you our high, mid-tier, and low price drivers for each of the Xfinity and the Cup Series, because those are the only two in session right now. Cups are taking another month-long vacation, kicking back in.
Yeah, trucks are out. We did get spoiled. We got 3 weeks in a row of the Truck Series, which was great, which was outstanding. And now we have to pay for that a little bit on the back end. But they'll be back in a couple weeks, Homestead, Miami. So take 2 weeks off, and then we get a couple of weeks of trucks in there. They'll actually finish out all three last weekends with us. So we'll have that to look forward to.
Indeed. Much like F1, where, you know, you get to watch a race or two, and then you get about a year until the next one, and you get to start all over again. And that's
we're back next week, Rod. F1 Gambling Podcast will make its return once again after a hiatus for no races, and they're racing in the US, so that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, they are racing in the US too. COTA, baby. COTA.
Let's go.
United States Grand Prix. All right. Well, then, with that in mind, I guess it is time to set up this Xfinity race, as it were, for the ROVAL. Again, we are at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, but we are not on the traditional oval. We are on the half road course, half oval, therefore ROVAL, set for 67 laps around this 2.280 mile ROVAL course for 152.760 miles. Lap sled. You know, we usually say on a road course that lap sled are not key, but on this particular road course, we've seen guys come out and just dominate. So you need to make sure you have one of these top guys. But also, Cody, we talked about this is a pretty big and heavy Shane Van Gisbergen and AJ Allmendinger week. So neither one of us are going to give them out, either one of them, as our high price drivers. But I would be remiss. Oh wait, you are, aren't you?
Remember, yeah, little pre-show meeting we had, which we don't usually do. But I was telling you, Rod, I do like to, we'll just jump into it, right? AJ Allmendinger is my high price guy, 10,200. And here's the reason why. I try to vary things up, right? And talk about some other guys. And I was looking at the top of the board, and it's like, you got SVG, you got AJ. They should be obvious. You're going to probably plug both of them in. Everybody's going to plug both of them in. So maybe have a couple lineups, your GPP wise, that you don't. Cash games, yeah, just play them and hope for the best, right? Because it's likely going to be their show. And then I was like, do I want to make a case for Justin Allgaier? Well, not really. Do I Sam Mayer? You talked about him already on the betting episode. Cole Custer we talked about. Kligerman we talked about. Creed we talked about. So we've sort of already talked about all these guys up top. So I'm just going to go with the obvious one. I mean, it is obvious, but AJ Allmendinger, 10,200. He is my guy this weekend. If you've listened to the betting episodes, if you haven't, I've said the name AJ Allmendinger 467,000 times through the 3 previous episodes here because I am all about AJ Allmendinger this weekend. He loves this place, Rod, and do you know why? 4 starts in the Xfinity Series. He's won all 4 of them. I expect him to win again this weekend. If not, for sure be in that top 3, right? We talked about that on the betting episode earlier this week. He's going to have a strong week, and I think that's why you have to play him in DFS. I will note he's got 4 career starts here. Of course, he's won all 4 of them. He hasn't led more than 25 laps in any of them. There's only 67 laps here, so not a ton of laps led or fastest laps to go around. But I do think that the laps led is going to be split up some because there's going to be a lot of different strategies. You're going to have stage splitting. You're going to have fuel stuff going on. And so I think there is going to be a mixture of people. I think you just play AJ, you play SVG, especially in your cash games. You roll with those, build the rest of your lineup around it. But if you're picking one, for me, it's AJ Allmendinger because I've been talking about him all week. He's absolutely owned this track the entire time. Yes, I know SVG wasn't in competition with him previously. SVG is going to be good, but this is AJ's playground. He's been so good here. How do you go against a guy that's 4 for 4 winning in all his career starts in this series. You don't, in my opinion. So 10,200. Give me AJ Allmendinger.
Yeah, you can't. I love AJ. I do. And you're going to have to eat the chalk on this one because this is all the flavor of chalk is one that everybody's going to be eating. And so I guess it doesn't matter. It just could be chalk flavor and that's what everybody's getting. So
yeah. And again, make some GPP lineups without either guy, without SVG or AJ, because there's that chance that they get mixed up with the squirrels, get their nuts cracked. It's a small chance, albeit, but it's there.
It is there. But I back you on this because again, it's AJ Allmendinger. There's no way you can't get around it. So I'm with you on AJ Allmendinger. All right. One guy that I think is a good deal at $9,500 is my high price driver is Sam Mayer. Talked about him, on the betting episode a couple days ago. If there was one person, and there was only one person that won this on this track other than AJ Allmendinger, and that's Sam Mayer. He won here last year, led 50 laps in that race. And I mean, honestly, that was far and away. There's 67 laps. He led almost all of them. He would have been the total dominator for you at that particular race. Is he going to get 50 laps this week? Probably not. But hopefully he starts somewhere in the top 5 and winds up with a second or third place finish. Like, doesn't lose you a ton of points, but a nice solid fifth place finish, even for $9,500, not necessarily that bad. Look, the guy had 3 road course wins last year, including this one. Like I said, he basically turned it on at the end of last year, just kind of killing it on these road courses. And so Sam Mayer, one of these guys that we don't talk about him much in the same breath as AJ Allmendinger. In fact, this season, not so much even at all. But I mean, we did call him mini AJ last year, kind of like Cody said at the betting episode. We kind of referred to him as the next coming of AJ Allmendinger, how good he was toward the back end on these road courses. He's a young kid. He's definitely got his moxie behind him. So, for me, if you're going to put this in a GPP lineup, I think this is the best place for it because you're obviously going to be going up against a ton of AJ and a ton of SVG. You're going to have a lot of AJ and SVG. So you're going to need a little diversity if you're doing multi-entry, especially because you don't want to, have these two guys get into it on turn 1, take each other out and just wreck every single one of your lineups. You're going to need a little bit of separation, going to be a little bit of difference. And I think Sam Mayer provides that. 9,500, it is a little steep, but considering, the 10,000 and the 11,000 and whatever range, I think you're getting a pretty decent discount for a guy that has the potential to even go out and lead, like Cody said, a couple of laps here and there, maybe 5, maybe 10, depending on strategies and depending on how they work it. Because, even still, Sam Mayer last year pitted before the end of stage 1 and was still able to find his way up to 8th place before the stage ends. So he had speed and he definitely has the ability to make up spots, even if strategy kind of takes him out of the running. So for Sam Mayer, again, this is one of those instances where he's a high price guy. You're going to need just a little bit of difference between the big top guys. And he gives you that winning upside and also definitely a top 5 in the mix as well.
Yeah, he's high risk, high reward, right? Because we've seen Sam Mayer this season. It's not always been super pretty, but he also can dominate like he did here last year. Of course, AJ wasn't in that race as a full-time Cup guy, but hey, he's done it before. There's no reason he couldn't do it again. He won 3 Xfinity road courses last season. That doesn't just go out the window, and this was one of them. Being good on this track, I think, is the most important part of, picking guys this weekend. Like, be good on road courses, but specifically be good on this course. That gives you extra points in my basket. So a little bit of a high risk for sure because, he can Sam Mayer it as he has done this season, but really, really high potential that you could get as well. So I like it.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't Sam Mayer it. I would very much enjoy it for him to actually go out and do well. Again, I don't think he's going to actually win this race, but I truly believe that he's going to have a very stellar day. So, all right, we will get to our mid-price drivers, but before we do, I would like to take this opportunity to tell you about Underdog Fantasy. Yes, Underdog Pick'em has one of the biggest menus for all of sports: NFL, college football, MLB, MMA, WNBA, NASCAR, and more. That lobby is jam-packed with profit boosts, and you can use specials and boosts now on all flex entries. I am looking here at Derrick Henry's rushing yard total, and it is 81.5. guys, I mean, I know that it seems kind of crazy to do this against Washington, who's been playing well, but I'm smashing that higher than because it's Derrick Henry. He has proved that he is superhuman. He is bulletproof, and he is going to crush anybody he comes against across. And he's in the triple option over there at Baltimore. So I love me some Derrick Henry over 81. I'm sorry, higher than 81.5 rushing yards. So please make sure you get the higher than on that and just keep multiplying and watch yourself winning by the end of the night. Sign up with our promo code in the meantime, RACE SGPN, to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code RACE SGPN.
Well, Rod, should we head to the mid-tier?
I feel like we should head to the mid-tier. Let's do that.
Let's do that. I mentioned this guy in the betting episode earlier this week. I said he was going to be on the DFS episode. I will keep my promise there. Austin Green, 7,500. Look, we talked about him on the betting side of things. You wish there's a top 10, right? Because you like the top 5, 14-1. It's still a good bet. Gives you some value, but you just the top 10 feels like a much easier bet to hit. Obviously, you get 5 extra spots, right? But the top 5 seems less realistic, but the fact that Austin Green can finish in the top 10 at the end of the day, exactly what you want. That's why I like him. He's only $7,500 this weekend. And I think that is a great price for him. We've seen him this season, right? He did run the one race at Bristol. It wasn't good results, but he's a road course guy, right? And we've seen him on road courses. And, well, he's paid off pretty well just about everywhere. Coda started in 25th place, finished in 7th, scored you 55 points. Beautiful day there. Then you go to Portland. He gets 39 points with a 15th place finish there. Moving on to Sonoma. This is where he started in 22nd, finished 4th for you. This is the type of upside that he has. Also the reason we bet on that top 5, right? 58.5 points that day from Austin Green. Chicago street course, he gave you 43 points. And then a couple weeks ago at the Glen, comes in good for you yet again, 48.5 points. All of these starts, 19th was his best start to 27th. That's kind of where the range that he's been starting in, which is perfect. It's not too far back to where he can actually get something done. He's not completely with the squirrels, but gives him a chance to move forward, get you those place differentials. If you look at his thing, Food City 300, minus 7 points. Last time he raced, well, that was Bristol. That was an oval. Throw it out. Don't count it, right? All of these road courses, he's shown up. He's been good. His worst finish in the 4 starts he has, 15th place. You'll take that for a guy only 7,500. Has a lot of upside to return. Austin Green, a guy that we've hit on kind of all season as we've gone to these road courses, going to continue to do so, and hopefully be able to keep betting on him and playing him in DFS for years to come, because he's been kind of I feel like a little bit of a secret weapon for us, right? It seems like maybe not a lot of people on it, but we are here on this show, and of course you guys listening are, and on him again this week. So 7,500 for Austin Green. I think he's a great play.
Yeah, and I feel like the last time that we had given him out, because you gave him out a while back too, and I feel like a lot of people in the Discord were on him too, and we were just, I mean, they were all like excited because I think whatever it was either very close to hitting or it actually did hit.
Well, we had big sweats early in the season with him, getting because he finished 7th at Coda, which is where we had the top 5, so it was like so close. And then I know a lot of people were on him for that top 5 at Sonoma, where he finished 4th place. So that paid off. The number wasn't as good for that race, but again, he's kind of the numbers falling back down for whatever reason. I don't know what that is. I mean, a couple weeks ago at the Glen, he was 8,100. He was 7,800 at Chicago. And then the numbers dropped back down to 75. So I like it.
I do too. You know who else I like, and I gave him out actually on the betting episode as well. But you can't really ignore the price on this guy, and that's Alex Labbe, our favorite Canadian Xfinity Series driver, who is actually from Canada. I mean, you gotta love it too. Alex Labbe has 3 starts this season in the 91 DGM racing car. He's got finishes of 19th at a road course, 26th at a road course, and 29th. So 24 and 16 points for Alex Labbe so far this season. And look, for Alex Labbe, you're not really looking for a whole lot more than just a good solid finish. Again, like I said, at Coda, 26th place finish, 19th at Sonoma. Those are pretty decent finishes. Chicago, again, he finished 29th, but that's a street course. You're not going to, get all too crazy about something out of that. But you just want a nice solid finish at Portland in his road course racing career. 23rd place start in 2022, 10th place finish. In 2023 at Portland, a 15th place start and an 11th place finish. So a good road course racer there. Sonoma, not necessarily his track. He did lead 2 laps in 2023. Started 11th, finished 25th. So that kind of bit you if you start him in DFS. But again, this season, started 19th, finished 19th. Didn't kill you. Nice solid points day for him there. This track hasn't been the greatest for him altogether, but he does have a couple of decent DFS days in him. Started 21st, finished 19th. Started 21st, finished 16th in 2018 and 2019, and that was in the 36 and the 90 car back in the day. So, I mean, again, this is a guy that is basically what you call a road course ringer nowadays. I mean, there's not much of them around anymore, but 6 top 10 finishes, 1 top 5 in 34 career starts. His average start 18.4, his average finish 18.1. Again, he starts where he finishes where he starts, and that's a guy that's not going to lose you points, and he's got the potential to kind of gain some spots too. So I do like him a lot in the DF. I would love him if he was actually a top 10 candidate in betting, but we'll give him the top 5 and we'll give him the nod here in the DFS episode.
Yeah, I like it. Look, these road course ringer guys are road course ringers for a reason. He's a good one that's in good, solid equipment, right? The DGM cars aren't JRM or JGR cars, but they're solid cars. We've seen them have good results. They seem to get to the end, which is always an important thing. And LeBay is a good driver. He's been doing this for a while. We've seen it out of him. So, yeah, I like this play as well.
Okay. Thank you. I love the stamp of approval. No, I'm just kidding. No, it gets tough. It gets tough when you are trying, and especially if you're trying to fit, both of the colleague guys in there that mean anything. If you want to put both of them in there, you really have to start saving money. And so that's, where we're heading next.
Yeah, saving money, not super easy this week, Rod. Boy, the bottom of the board is pretty rough. You might really have to get your dartboard out this week. But I cheated up a little bit on my cheap guy, but a guy that I wanted to highlight, Ryan Sieg, $6,800. Ryan Sieg is pretty much a good DFS play just about any week. But he's been pretty solid here at the Roval. 13th place finish last season, 9th place finish the season before. Then you go back and you look, 22nd at Watkins Glen. You'd probably like to have a little bit more. 16th at Chicago Street Course, if you want to toss that in there. 20th at Sonoma, but 14th at Portland. 14th back at Coda as well. And then if you go back to last season, even again, had a pretty solid finish here with the 13th place finish, and that was after starting 25th. So you get a nice set of points there. 21st at Watkins Glen with a pretty good run. 13th at Road America again. So some really good runs by him over the last couple of seasons on road courses. Just a guy that you can trust on a week-to-week basis. I mean, you go back and you look, right, 57 points last week. That was a super speedway, of course, but 23, 44. You get a 12 in there every once in a while, but 20, 60, 27, 50. You're getting pretty good points from Ryan Sieg on a week-to-week basis. Also, just a reminder, Ryan Sieg will be in the 28 car the rest of the season. His brother Kyle switching over to the 39. That's simply an owner's point move. He's still going to be in the 39 equipment, which I think it's all the same equipment anyways. But Ryan Sieg's been having a really strong season. He's only 6,800. And again, with kind of a grosser bottom of the pool, I guess, if you can get up a little bit for a price guy, I think Sieg's a good place to go at 6,800.
Yeah, totally agree with you on that one as well. And here's the thing. If I could tell you, though, that you could put, and I'm trying to put, let's see. So Sieg is there because I'm working a little magic behind the scenes at this point. But if I told you that you could have Shane Van Gisbergen, you could have AJ Allmendinger. Yeah, you could have AJ Allmendinger in that one. You could have Sam Mayer in another one. And then you can have Ryan Sieg and Alex LeBay in a lineup. What would you say?
I would like that.
You know how you could do that?
How can you do
Going
that?
straight to the bottom for Thomas Annunziata. Dead last at 5,000 on the board. But if you do that, I just read off the lineup that you can put together. SVG, Allmendinger, Mayer, Sieg, and LeBay. In fact, you could probably even swing instead of LeBay if you really felt better about it. You could put You could put Austin Green in there instead if that made you feel better. So you can mix and match on those ones. But I'm telling you right now, if you just want to go straight down to the bottom, we don't normally tell you to go straight down to the bottom because a lot of times it doesn't make any sense for you to do that. But you see the lineup that you can create, and this guy can barely. I mean, he probably won't lose you points. You know why? Because it's almost impossible.
Last.
It's almost impossible. And the way he could do it though is if he does it like he did earlier in the season, where he came in 34th in Sonoma after starting in 26th, but he had transmission problems. That not necessarily was not his fault, but came back a couple weeks later and finished 28th at Pocono, and then finished 35th or 29th rather at Watkins Glen after starting 30th. So those are DFS days of 23 and 14. So he got you 14 at the Glen, but he got you 23 at
Pocono. Get you 14 points, and you get all those other guys in that lineup.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't mind that at all.
Like there is almost zero downside to what you do by getting an Annunziata down there at the very bottom. We talked about it. He's kind of an off series driver. He drove in the ARCA Menard series for 4 races in this season. Wasn't necessarily anything to think about, but 18th place finish in Daytona, 29th at Talladega, 5th at Mid-Ohio, 3rd at Watkins Glen in this in the Menard series. And look, I mean, we've seen these guys in Menards come in like Sawalich. We've seen, Tanner Gray. These guys kind of go up there. Zilich is another guy that does well in the ARCA Menard series and comes up. So, I mean, promising finishes here. 7th place finish in Watkins Glen, 4th place at Mid-Ohio. My eyes are this way. But still solid finishes on these road courses and these places where you expect him to be good for this type of a race. So maybe he is competent enough to just kind of stick with the crowd and be good. So yeah, give me an Annunziata down there at $5,000 to kind of anchor your lineup.
I don't mind this play at all. I actually made a case for him to be the top finishing Toyota on the betting episode. It's more of a numbers play than I think he doesn't necessarily have a lot of upside, but he is a full, he is a full-time, I'm getting really choked up about this guy, full-time Trans Am series driver, which you like to see that. Also, those other 2 starts were in JD Motorsports cars. He's going to be in the Joey Gase 35 car this week. Not that the Joey Gase equipment is that much great, but I do think it's an uptick from the JD Motorsports car that he was in. So I do think that a little bit of an upgrade in equipment. Again, hopefully he won't qualify well. He'll be at the back. You get some attrition, just kind of survive to the end and make it. I think that's not a bad way to go at all.
I love it. And again, like I said, if you put those guys in, if you put him in there, you unlock everybody.
Yeah, and again, like you want AJ, you want SVG, so you're going to have to get creative at the bottom in order to get these other guys in.
I'm about to put that lineup in, and I don't care. That's a good lineup. So, all right, get out your pen and paper. We're going to tell you exactly what we just told you earlier for the DFS for the Xfinity Series race. Cody started you off with AJ Allmendinger as his high price driver at $10,200. I said Sam Mayer at $9,500 was my high price driver. Cody gave you Austin Green at $7,500 as his medium price driver. I said Alex Labbe at $7,700 was my mid-tier driver. Cody said that Ryan Sieg, $6,800 was his low price driver. And I just went straight down to the bottom. Thomas Annunziata, $5,000. It's probably the most this guy's name has ever been said on a NASCAR gambling podcast. But here we are.
Any podcast, but that's okay.
It's all right. Listen, we'll be saying his name more if he does well, right? So
that's right. Exactly. He's young kid, 19, got a lot of promise. So there you go.
A lot of promise. Speaking of promise, I promise we'll come back. But first, let me tell you about BetUS. We're brought to you by BetUS. Bet with the best in the business. BetUS. BetUS has been around for more than 30 years. You can easily deposit using cryptocurrency and get lightning fast payouts. US players, you're more than welcome. Come on board. Sign up and deposit $100. You got a chance to win a 1960 Ford Mustang. I tell you, I'm just going to quit broadcasting that because I want that. So you guys, I don't want you to have a shot at it. I want that shot at it. We gave you tons of our favorite BetUS plays over the course of the week. So make sure you go back, listen to the betting episodes for those. You can use our link to sign up and get a 125% deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits you want in. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS, promo code SGPN, so they know that we sent you. BetUS, America's favorite sports book. SGPN's proud partner is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive models in seconds and get predictions for betting on money lines, spreads, totals, and props. Build your own model, copy one of the top-performing models on the leaderboard, or press build a model for me, and Rhythm's going to give you predictions for every game and player prop, and also has a myriad of stats, research, and trend analysis to help even more betting insights. Telling you, I'm eyeballing this Derrick Henry number, 81.5 rushing yards. I need Rhythm to build me a model to tell me whether or not he is going to surpass that amount or if he's going to come up short. I'm confident that I'm going to find out that Derrick Henry is going to absolutely crush 81.5. So I'm definitely hoping that Rhythm backs me up on this one. So we'll see. We'll go that direction, and we'll figure out if that's right and who's right at the end of the day. You too can do the same thing. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. I needed a second to catch up. My head was so full of, how much I'm going to win this weekend when Derrick Henry goes crazy, that I just needed a second to catch up. So sorry about that, guys.
That game is going to be insane. The
It'll be-
Ravens and the Commanders, like two of the hottest offenses in football right now. Oh, buddy. Cannot wait to watch that one. That's a fantasy player's dream.
Yeah, and you think about the fact that both of those quarterbacks, they're not shy about running the ball, and
it's gonna be like the over under is at 48.5 or I think it's 50.5, but still hammer the over. Beautiful
for sure. All right, let's get to the Roval for the Cup Series, as we are at the Bank of America. There's no crazy 400 or 200 or anything in this one. It's just the Bank of America 400. Oh, that's right. This is the one.
Yeah. This is the one with the crazy. Well, the other one was 250, so
yeah,
it must be a kilometer deal too.
It's kilometers. The Bank of America
I
for.
feel like we already beat the British and got rid of that system, but whatever.
I'm just saying, 400 kilometers. That is the race. We are set for 109 laps around this 2.280 mile road course for 248.520 miles, or as you folks over there on the Kings measuring know it as 400 kilometers. So,
all right, Rod, kicking it off with the high-priced guy, AJ Allmendinger at 10. Oh, wait a minute. Just kidding. I'm not going to give him out again, but honorable mention, AJ Allmendinger, 10,000. Of course, you already know how I feel about him. I felt like in the Cup Series, though, there were some other options to pivot to talk about, guys, right? So AJ is still, of course, my top play on the weekend, but Chris Buescher, a guy that I wanted to highlight, Rod, did talk about him in the betting episode, but Chris Buescher's ability on road courses is pretty insane. He's only $9,100, which is a hell of a deal for a guy this good at road courses. You look at what has he done at the Roval, his last 3 races here, Rod, 7th, 6th, and 3rd. Really good finishes from Chris Buescher. You back out the scope, right? What's he done at road courses in the Cup Series over the last 13 races? Over the last 13 races, Rod, 12 of them, he's been inside the top 10. I want to expand that number to top 11. 13 for 13. Chris Buescher is there at the end of these races in the mix. Back out even farther. The last 16 races, 15 of them he's been inside the top 12 road courses in the Cup Series. I mean, how much more consistency can you ask from a guy than Chris Buescher has given you? He has been the model of consistency on road courses. Talked about it on the betting episode earlier this week, right? He was on fire on pit road at the Indy Road Course a couple of years ago. Put the fire out, got the car back out there, still finished inside the top 10 at the end of the day. Dude just has the knack for it, and he's the most previous road course winner, right? Watkins Glen a few weeks ago. We told you it's going to be Kyle Larson and SVG and AJ and Byron and all the favorites, and we were wrong, which happens every once in a while, right? But it was Chris Buescher. He's the guy who got it done at the end of the day. So you know, just from that right there, what he can do, the ceiling that he has, and his consistency and his good finishes. He doesn't need to go lead a bunch of laps. He doesn't need a bunch of place differentials. He's going to give you a good, solid finish. That's what you're looking for out of this guy. Give me Christopher Buescher, Prosper, Texas's own, $9,100.
So we both talked about both of these guys that we are going to talk about next on the betting episode, because if you look at the top of the charts on the average road course finishes here over the last several years, right, since February of 2021 is where the driver averages starts keeping track. It's both of these guys' names. It's Chris Buescher at 9.2 and it's Chase Elliott at 9.2 as well, with the average finishing positions there. And they're the best. They're the top two names on the chart. And it's funny because I guess you never really considered Chris Buescher. Like if you think about it, if you sit down and you say, who's good at road courses, it would probably take you 10 to 15 names to get to Chris Buescher.
Especially if you ask like the average NASCAR fan, people who have been betting and playing DFS for a little while, like you're probably more prone to know, right? But if you go ask a regular person, like name guys who are good at road courses, like you're 10, 15 names deep before Chris Buescher, and he's the most recent road course winner. His name probably still isn't coming up.
Yeah, no, it's crazy to think about it, but that's where you get the edge, is because when you play against folks that don't necessarily, I mean, if they're casual players, you got to pick these contests, and figure out where to kind of jump in and feel the water. But one name that does come up is Chase Elliott, and that's what I'm going to start with. My Chase Elliott as the high price driver, $9,500. Like Cody said, I mean, it is SVG, it's AJ. Like they're going to be played, and they're going to be played a lot. So if you want to kind of differentiate yourself, you go with a guy like Chase Elliott. Why? Because on the Roval, this dude has led laps in every race but one that he's been in. He has got 4 top 10 finishes, 2 top 5s, 2 wins in 6 starts on the Roval. Like I said, he's led 109 laps on this track over the course of his career. It's insane. I mean, for Chase Elliott, you know how good of a road course driver he is. I just told you he is among the top 2 when it comes to average finishes since February of 2021. But it's just punctuated by the fact that, 19th at Watkins Glen. We told you that was kind of a crazy outlier, but 4th at Sonoma, 16th at Coda. That was also kind of an outlier as well. That was a day that Chase Elliott just didn't have it. But 9th at the Roval last year, 32nd at Watkins Glen. Okay, I'll toss that out. 2nd at the Indy Road Course. That kind of piques your interest because that is a road course type of a situation, right? Roval type of a situation. And so you're kind of keyed in on that. 5th at Sonoma, a 4th at Watkins Glen, 2nd at Road America, 8th at Sonoma. There's a lot going right for Chase Elliott when it comes to being on a road course, and we know this, and so that's why we bank on it. Last year, like I said, a 9th place finish, he led 15 laps. Like, these are all fantastic DFS days. What has he done so far? I told you, kind of off and on for this one, but Chase Elliott lately has been decent. 8th at Atlanta, like I said, 19th at Watkins Glen, but that was crazy. 2nd at Bristol, 9th at Kansas. Like, there's good stuff going on for this 9 car. It's a road course. You kind of just can't miss on this. You could probably go with Kyle Larson as well, but I think Chase Elliott right now is in a better position to maybe get a better finish. So yeah, give me Chase Elliott. $9,500 is my high price driver.
Yeah, I love Chase Elliott here. He's been so good at the Roval. Talked about him on the betting episode. You brought him up with the top 10, actually putting these two guys together. I talked about him as far as an outright play because I think that he is a guy that's capable of getting it done here again. Got 2 wins already. Should be 3, Rod. We know how that goes. Damn cardboard. But Chase Elliott, very, very good road course guy and just a consistent guy nobody's been more consistent than Chase Elliott has this entire season. I think he's only got 2 finishes worse than 20th the entire season. I don't remember where he finished last week at Talladega. It might be 3 now. But either way, it's been a really strong season for Chase Elliott. I think that will continue. All right, Rod, this one might shock a few people, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and toss this guy out. I have a hard time, as you've noticed in the past, of figuring out when Joey Logano is going to do good, when Joey Logano is going to do bad. So I'm not placing a bet on him. I'm just highlighting him as a guy that might surprise you a little bit how good he is at the Roval in particular. He's only $7,300, which for Joey Logano, not something you normally see, right? He's 98, 93, 93, 10, 2. Like, that's his normal price on a week-to-week basis. But they drop him down on the road courses because, well, Joey Logano is not necessarily really much of a road course guy. But, Rod, if you look at his results here at the Charlotte Roval, well, he's been pretty good. Last season, he finished in 5th place. Nice strong run there after starting in 7th. 2022, Rod, he started on the pole, led 27 laps. Unfortunately, finished in 18th, so that definitely hurt a little bit. But leading 27 laps and the ability to do that obviously highlights his ability here, right? 2021, he finished in 7th place. 2020, he finished in second. And then even in 2019 and 2018, top 10 finishes and 10th in both of them. So out of his, the 6 races that we've had here since the inception of this track, 5 top 10 finishes for Joey Logano, the ability to lead 27 laps. He's led at least 4 laps in 3 of the 6. Joey Logano, and it's really sneaky because, again, like you talk about naming road course guys, you're getting a long damn way down there before you hear Joey Logano's name, right? But he is a 2-time champion of the sport, a veteran guy, just does his thing, and he is actually sneakily good here. So I was trying to find a way to work him into the betting episode because I had noticed how good he was, but again, you don't really know what you're getting out of him. He's the first driver below the cut line, which is a little interesting. So we'll see how hard they points race, what strategy they take, but it's only 13 points underneath. So definitely has the ability to jump up in there. But Joey Logano, a guy who could be sneaky this week. And, I don't know about cash play necessarily. Well, he could be though, actually. I mean, but he's definitely a sneaky play on DFS this week because, again, 5 for 6 finishing in the top 10 at only $7,300. It's a pretty good run from Joey Logano at this track.
Okay, here we go. Ready? And the coin says yes. We're going to go with Joey Logano.
Yes. I love when the coin flip works.
It was heads we go, tails we don't. And luckily for you, it was heads. I think. I don't know which heads and tails.
Flip it again, it'll be a different result. That's how it works with Joey Logano.
That's how it works in general, right? It's a 50-50 shot. With Joey Logano, this is obviously it's a GPP play, but a cash game upside. So,
but like that. As I said that, I'm thinking, well, actually, like you could potentially play him in the cash game because he's proven to be solid at this track, and that's like if you look at his road course racing, and actually, like he's not really that bad of a road course racer in a general sense. Like he's never competing for wins really, but I mean here specifically, he's been really good, so he needed to be highlighted.
Indeed. And the coin said so we're good on that one.
That's right.
All right. One you don't need a coin for is Justin Haley, $6,300. I'm going toward the bottom end of the medium price drivers. Justin Haley now driving that proud 7 car that Corey LaJoie once called home. Look, that 7 car's got speed and it can compete on road courses. We've talked about Corey LaJoie at length, and when we talk about
look at the last road course. There are 3 top 10 finishes from all 3 Spire cars.
Corey LaJoie. But we're not talking about Corey LaJoie. We're not talking about the cars that he was driving. Watkins Glen, Corey LaJoie, 8th place finish, 18th place start. So that's actually some pretty good DFS day for you there. Sonoma, 17th place start, 11th place finish for this 7 car as well. A bad day at Coda, so we won't put that into our stats. He finished 24th after starting 5th. And then on this particular racetrack, the 7 car has started 24th, finished 17th in 2023, started 30th and finished 12th back in 2022. So fantastic DFS days for this 7 car. But Rod, you say Corey LaJoie's not driving the 7. Justin Haley's driving the 7. And Justin Haley, how does he do on this track? Well, he's okay. But he was driving a Colleague car, which, again, we know is good. But look, here's the thing. He started 5th in 2022 on the Roval, driving the 31 car, finished 13th. That's still not bad for a guy that was like legit, or actually finished 5th. I'm sorry. This is what I hate about going back and forth to different sites is that I'm like, one side has one finish on one end and starts on the other, but I'll get there. 5th place finish in 2022, started 13th, driving that number 31 Colleague car. That is a fantastic finish for young Justin Haley. 2023 at the Roval, driving the 31 car, started 25th, finished 22nd. I mean, those are 2 great finishes for Justin Haley here on this track. He did drive for Spire once before, finished 37th after starting 38th in 2021. Justin Haley at road courses altogether, right? Not glowing, but again, that was the 51 car that he was in and the 31 car before that. So, I mean, look, he does have a top 5 at the Roval, like I said before. 18th place at Watkins Glen, going back to 2022 in the 31, 19th at the Indy Road Course, 12th at Sonoma, 15th at Coda. So, we're talking, all we need him to do is, I think, crack the top 20 to get some value out of this. And in that Spire car, we know now there's speed enough to get inside of you in the top 15. if not the top 10. So Justin Haley, a driver that can get it done because he's definitely he's just one of those drivers. Like he'll do it on a super speedway and then he'll pop up and he'll have a good race somewhere else. And I think this is one of those weeks. I think that the Spire car back in it is suiting him well. And I think the price is right. So 6,300 for Justin Haley to be a good DFS play.
Yeah, no arguments from me here. I think that we've seen obviously Spire's road course program has been good here as of late. And Haley's proven himself to be a decent road course guy over the years as well.
Indeed. All right. Well, let's save people money here on this Cup Series and go all the way down to our low price drivers.
Yeah, much easier in the Cup Series to find low price guys that you like. And a guy that I love this weekend, Austin Dillon, another guy we talked about on the betting episode, but deserves to be talked about at only 5,900. Rod, again, you go back to that list of road course guys. Austin Dillon's not going to make it near the top on that one. But if you go to the list of Roval guys, Austin Dillon should make your list there. He's been pretty solid here. First career start was 39th place finish. That was all the way back in 2018. Then he was 23rd, but it's improved ever since then. 19th in 2020, 15th in 2021. He had a 10th place finish in 2022, came back and finished in 14th place last season. It's been strong runs from him. Things have actually been pretty decent in the RCR camp lately, right? Kyle Busch has been a big story because he's had some issues and been close to winning races or gets shuffled out at the last second or whatever the case is. But for Austin Dillon, I mean, he's coming off of an 8th place finish at Talladega. He was 12th at Kansas before that, 21st, 28th, but 20th, 15th, a couple of other good runs. 17th, he won, obviously, back at Richmond. We all know about that. 13th before that. They've had some pretty good runs. The rest of his road course stuff, it's not great, right? But again, another guy that at this track in particular has continued to be solid. I mean, you look at his last 4 races or last 3 races, all inside the top 15 with one top 10 in there. I like that out of Austin Dillon. At only 5,900, he's got a pretty high ceiling for you and the ability to do pretty well here. And we've seen his teammate also, Kyle Busch. I mean, he's got the best average finish out of any of the active drivers over the last 3 races in the Cup Series at this track. Has been really, really solid. 3 top 4 finishes in a row. So these guys leaning on each other, practicing for the week, whatnot in the sims and everything. I think that'll help Dillon even more at a track that he's already been solid at. So give me Austin Dillon at the cheap price of 5,900.
Yeah. Again, if you're looking down at the bottom, you're just looking for guys that are going to be able to be salvageable and just and get you where you need to go, right? I mean, that's Austin Dillon. You know that car is probably not going to finish 35th or 38th. So yeah, I like it on that as well. All right. Well, speaking of somebody that could finish 35th or something like that, look, this is I'm digging into deep. I'm digging in the bag for Kaz Gralla at $5,300. I even made a case on the betting episode for Rick Ware to actually finish better than Legacy Motor Club. And listen, you guys know that I absolutely adore Legacy Motor Club, and so to suggest that that any Rick Ware car is going to do better. Now, granted, I did say that I kind of pinned my hopes on Corey LaJoie to get it done, but look, Kaz Gralla, he may actually do something for you as well. So far this season, he's averaging 21.2 fantasy points per race. His salary this week, $5,300. That's not bad for a 53. If you can get somewhere in the vicinity of 20 points, then you're doing pretty good if you're rostering a guy like Kaz Gralla. He does have 1 Cup Series start here in the 15. He started 38th and finished 35th. Now, granted, that's not a fantastic day, but it's also not losing you points. But he does have some upside. In Sonoma earlier this season, started 36th, finished 23rd. That is definitely not a bad day for you, because that's actually a 32-point day. At $5,100 is where he was that particular day. So you definitely like that. And then at Coda, that's probably been his weakest track, but he did finish 25th after starting 31st in 2022 in the 50 car. In the 15th earlier this season, he had a 27th place finish there. But like I said, 20 points. If that is his absolute ceiling, then I'm still sort of taking it, because to me, I feel like that's better than nothing. Good Xfinity track record here, though. He actually has a 5th place finish in 2023 after starting 14th, 8th place finish after starting 14th in 2018. So a pretty decent road course racer in the Xfinity Series. He's got 3 top 10 finishes and 5 starts on the Road America course there. So, he's pretty competent when it comes to road course racing. And so, you hope that kind of carries over. We've seen what Corey LaJoie boost has done to Rick Ware. Actually, we saw what Justin Haley was doing with Rick Ware before the swap. So, this is not a far-fetched thing for him to be able to kind of continue to progress and get better. And maybe now that Corey LaJoie is there to help coach him, he'll get better. So, give me Kaz Gralla as a nice little sneaky low price play for the slate.
I like this LaJoie fan rod that's come out here lately. It's beautiful.
This guy right here
got his own picture and everything. You love it.
You know what it was? I just think he needed to just get away from Spire for me to like him. Like, stop stacking pennies and start stacking nickels.
There you go. I like
Start stacking nickels. Nickel. All right. Well, Cody, that'll do it for our DFS slate for the Cup Series. Get out your pen and paper, everybody. We will go over our plays for the Cup Series. Bank of America Roval 400. Cody gave you Chris Buescher as his high price driver at $9,100. I said Chase Elliott at $9,500 would be my high price driver. Cody dropped down to Joey Logano at $7,300 for his mid-tier driver. I said Justin Haley at $6,300 would be my mid-tier driver. And then Cody said Austin Dillon at $5,900 would be his low price driver. And I said Kaz Gralla at $5,300 was my bargain bin driver of the week. Well, Cody,
I do have a couple of fun facts about Kaz Gralla for you, Rod, just because I think it's fun. He is the youngest driver in NASCAR history to make any type of playoffs. He was in the Truck Series playoffs at the age of 18. He's the youngest NASCAR race winner at Daytona International Speedway, also at 18. He's also the youngest NASCAR pole winner at Daytona, also at the age of 18. And to your road course credits, the youngest driver to compete in an IMSA race at just 15 years old. I like it.
Would this guy be better and better equipment? Why hasn't he gotten a look somewhere else yet? Should we be banging the drum for Kaz Gralla?
Okay, let's not go that far.
No, I want to clip this out because this is going to
get brakes a little bit.
No. I want the clicks. Kaz Gralla is the next Kyle Larson. There, you heard it here first.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll help, Rod.
I'm in it for the clicks. I don't know what you guys are in it for. Like, I don't do this for anything other than your guys' thumbs up. So this video is about to get 16 thumbs down, and that's fine.
Give this video a thumbs up if you love Kaz Gralla too.
And we may not see very many thumbs up on that one.
Yeah, we'll get 1 or 2. Maybe his mom will tune in or something.
I love it. All right, Cody. Well, then let's send everybody off to their weekend because I know they're ready to start it. I know we're ready for some racing. It is the Roval. It is the funness of both the road course and the oval. And yeah, buddy, that's all that's left now is to watch the races.
The funness is exactly how I would describe it, Rod. Don't forget, it's AJ Allmendinger weekend. Get your parlays in, get your bets in. It's all about AJ this weekend, Rod. Find me over on the X at Husker_Zeeb. You can find all my stuff there. Follow the show as well at NASCAR Gambling. Make sure you subscribe to that YouTube. Click on the bell. Get notified when we go live. Best of luck to you at the Roval this week, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. Follow me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez. Link in the about everything I got going on, whether it's here, whether it's Sportsbook Review. We got some first touchdown prop stuff coming out for that as well this weekend. And then, of course, make sure you check out the Backroad. Seth and Elliot did a fantastic job of breaking down the Roval for you. It would be so great if you go check them out on their YouTube channel, In Between Media. And, yeah, we'll see you guys this weekend, maybe Sunday, maybe Monday, however our schedule flicks out for a Roval recap and get ready for the rest of the season. So we love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. Remember to leave us a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple Podcast or just on your local supermarket wall. Don't do graffiti, guys. I don't want you to get in trouble, but love you guys. We'll see you guys for the recap. Until then, let's go racing. Don't do crime and let it ride.